As regards comprehensive agreement on investment, we also have a sustainable development chapter in this agreement, which foresees that China will take continued and sustained effort towards ratification of fundamental ILO conventions dealing with forced labor. So this level of commitment is the same as we have in recent free trade agreements. But the difference is that this is not a free trade agreement. It's a more narrow, more targeted agreement. Yet the level of commitments from China is the same. And it's the first time China enters in these kind of commitments with international partner. Recently we also had a panel ruling in our trade dispute with South Korea, where we have the same commitment by South Korea, and where the panel ruling was very clear that this commitment does not mean only process, but it means that at the end of the day, those conventions need to be ratified and implemented. So that's the state of play specifically on ILO conventions. Of course, there are other work streams how we need to deal with questions of human rights abuses and forced labor. And we also outlined it in our trade policy review communication that we are advancing, preparing a legislative proposal on compulsory due diligence, where EU companies will be obliged to do the diligence to ensure that they are not sourcing goods or services which are produced with substantial environmental or human rights violations, which obviously includes forced labor. And we are also impact assessing in this context the possibility to also prohibit placement of in the EU market, so basically stopping at the border goods produced with forced labor. Talking more broadly on human rights violations, I also would remind that we, since December, have in place EU global human rights sanctions regime, which allows for the EU to come with a targeted sanctions against companies or individuals which are engaged in serious human rights breaches.